Hello students, now today we are going to discuss our second chapter, that is nutrition in animals. In first chapter we talk about the nutrition in plants, but in this chapter we are going to talk about nutrition in animals. Okay, so firstly we revise the definition of nutrition. That what is a nutrition? Nutrition is the intake of food by which we get energy to do work. Okay, so as you seen in first picture that there are different type of animals, okay, and that different type of animals are divided into different categories, that is herbivore, carnivores and omnivores. Okay, so what are herbivore, carnivore and omnivores? These are the classification of animals depending upon their eating behavior. Okay, means these are the different type of animals depending upon their eating behaviors. Okay, for example, herbivores are the animals which only eat herbs, means which eats only plants. Okay, plants, grass, so these are the herbivores. Second is carnivores. Carnivores are the animals who eating only flesh and meat. Okay, and the last one is omnivores. Omnivores are the animals or organisms which eat both plants and flesh. Okay, so according to their fooding behavior, the internal system for digestion for all of them are some different. Okay, now after watching first page, look at the animals below and write H for herbivore, C for carnivore, O for omnivore, depending upon the kind of food each of them eats. Okay, so bear eats both herbivores, means bear eat both grass and flesh, so it involves into a omnivore. Deer eats only grass, it is in herbivore category. Okay, next one is leopard eats only a flesh, so it is in a carnivore category. Okay, next one is rhinoceros are eats only plants, so it is also in a category of herbivores. Okay, so now we are going to start our second chapter. Okay, so first is nutrition in animals. So we all know that we take the food from our mouth. That food is going to breaken down during the process of digestion. Okay, means we have to break down the food into simpler substances. Okay, and between that process there are many stages. Okay, so plants nutrition in animals having a 5 stages during the process of digestion. Okay, so first process is ingestion. What is the ingestion? The intake of food into the body is called ingestion, means the initial stage of any animal in taking of food. Okay, second process is digestion. In digestion process, the food that we intake through our mouth, they are going to break down into a simplest substances. Okay, after that the third point is of absorption. So what is absorption? In absorption we observe important nutrients, minerals, water from that simpler substances. Okay, so that process is known as absorption, means we absorb the important nutrients from the digestion process. Next one is assimilation. Assimilation means that material that we observe through a digestion process, now we have to transport that important nutrients to our complete body parts, means into our body. Okay, so that process is assimilation. Now last one process is egestion. So egestion is the elimination of waste material in our body in the form of feces, means last stage is egestion, in which we have eliminate the undigested food from our body in the form of feces. That process is known as egestion. Okay, now we all know that the organisms are divided into two parts. Okay, means microorganisms having a two parts. That one is multicellular and unicellular organisms, and the digestion process of both of them are different. Okay, so unicellular organisms are those which having a only one cell. Okay, so so they digest their food with different way. Okay, but multicellular having a more than thousand of cells. Okay, for example human beings. So human beings having a different digestive process than unicellulars. Okay, and birds taking food inside through the beak. Okay, so everyone having a different style to intake the food. Okay, and some organism having a different digestion process according to their food habits. Okay, so firstly, for unicellular organism, firstly we read the nutrition of amoeba. Amoeba is a unicellular. Okay, so in this, amoeba is an organism made up of a single cell. It is usually found in ponds and ditches. Its food consists of the microscopic organism found in these water bodies. Now here you can learn that unicellular organisms are only seen with the help of a microscope because they are very small. Okay, micro means very small, which cannot be seen with naked eyes, so we have to use a microscope to see such a bodies. Okay, so it does not have a very structural body. When amoeba senses food, it forms a finger-like structure. Here you can see that in first picture there is a amoeba having a one nucleus because this is a one single celled organism. Okay, and when it sees a food, it opens as a finger-like structure. Okay, and then close that food into their finger-like structures. Okay, and that food is also known as a pseudopodia. Means when amoeba sense food, it forms a finger-like projection called pseudopodia. Okay, and it is also known as a false foot, which completely enclose food, resulting in the formation of a space cavity called a food vacuole. Means that food, when it goes inside the amoeba, it known as a food vacuole. Okay, when it intake the food inside, some digestive juices are secreted inside the amoeba. Okay, and after some time that food is digested here. It is then absorbed and assimilation, and the undigested part is thrown out from the body. Now the second process is nutrition in humans. So if we compare myself, or if we compare the human beings with amoeba, so the nutrition or taking of food, the process of taking food inside, it is very different to amoeba and very complex from amoeba. So firstly we intake the food through our mouth, and here we can use a different organs, different organs. Okay, and that organs combine together, so they form a digestive system which we use for the proper digestion of our food. Okay, so in our digestive system we contain organs like alimentary canal, digestive tract, okay, gallbladder, pancreas, liver. So these are the some organs that we use in our digestive system. Okay, now firstly, so the first point, now we are starting the digestion process in humans from first point. Okay, so first point is ingestion. Ingestion is starting from our mouth. So firstly we read about our mouth. So ingestion, through ingestion food is taken into the body through the mouth and is chewed. We have different types of teeth which help us in breaking down food into simpler पीसेस. इंजेक्शन के लिए हम अपने फूड को कहाँ से एंटर करवाते हैं? माउथ के थ्रू. ठीक है, एंड दैट फूड इज च्यूड और ब्रेकिंग डाउन इनटू सिंपलर पीसेस विद द हेल्प ऑफ अवर डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ टीथ्स. ओके, सो how many teeth are there in our mouth? Okay, so there are 32 total teeth. Okay, any young or adult person having a 32 teeth. Okay, and that teeth are divided into 4 types. That 4 types are incisor, canines, premolars and molars. So firstly we talk about the incisors. So as you seen in picture, that incisor are the very sharp, okay. They are also called biting teeth. They are flat blade like teeth. The incisors are the front teeth and are also called so called because they helps to incise. ये जो हमारे फर्स्ट वाले टीथ होते हैं ना, फर्स्ट 4 टीथ जिनसे हम फूड को काटते हैं, ठीक है, कट करते हैं, तो दैट टीथ्स आर नोन एज अ इंसीजर्स. ओके, यू कैन सी क्लियरली इन द पिक्चर्स. नाउ द सेकेंड वन इज canines. They are also called the tearing teeth. These are also called the tearing teeth. इन साइड से हम क्या करते हैं, सिर्फ बाइट करते हैं, ठीक है. लेकिन टीयर कौन करता है? टीयर मीन्स फाड़ना, ठीक है. तो टीयर कौन करता है? कैनाइन्स. दे हैव वेरी शार्प एजेस एंड हेल्प्स टू टीयर द फूड एंड दे आर प्रेजेंट एट द sides of incisor teeth. Okay, next one is premolars. Premolars having a broader surface and therefore helps to chew and grind the food, and these teeth are present after the canines. Okay, and the premolars are present after molars. Okay, so molars are the large back teeth. They have a wide grinding surface and are used primarily to chew food. Next one is humans develop 2 sets of teeth in their lifetime. Means humans gain different teeth 2 times in our life. Okay, first one is temporary set of teeth and the second is permanent set of teeth. Okay, so the temporary set of teeth having only 20 teeth, which are also known as a milk teeth. But around the age of 6, the milk teeth started falling. Okay, and after that falling teeth, there is a growth of another teeth. Then that teeth are known as a permanent teeth, which are can't fallen down again and again. So the permanent set of teeth having a 32 teeth, in which 16 in each jaw, 16 in upper jaw and the 16 in lower jaw. Okay, so in that 32 teeth there are 4 incisors, 2 canines, 4 premolars and 6 molars in each jaw. Now tongue. So in tongue, the tongue is a fleshy muscular organ. Muscular organ means tongue can't contain any type of bone in it. Okay, ये किसकी बनी होती है? सिर्फ मसल्स की बनी होती है, ठीक है. सो इट हेल्प्स टू मिक्स सलाइवा विद फूड while chewing and also help in swelling. Means saliva in our mouth there is a salivary glands which secretes a saliva. Okay, and that saliva when mixed with our food, it becomes a soft and swallow, which helps to pass from our mouth to the esophagus pipe to the stomach. Okay, it helps to mix saliva with the food while chewing and also help in swelling. The tongue is also a very important sense organ because it having a different taste bud through which you can taste different type of tastes like sweet, salty, bitter and sour. Okay, so in ingestion process, which organs we use? Different type of teeth and tongue. How many types of teeth are there? 4 types of teeth, that is incisor, canines, premolar and molars. After that tongue. Okay, in ingestion there are 2 organs, means different type of teeth and tongue. Now the second process is digestion. Okay, so in digestion, here you can see the diagram. So as we all know that the food we can intake through a mouth. Okay, when we take a food intake, when we intake the food through our mouth, it mixes with saliva. Okay, saliva helps to soften the food and swallow the food. Okay, but teats help to break down the food into simpler substances. Okay, after that food goes through a esophagus pipe. Okay, in esophagus pipe there is a contraction and relax movements, okay, through which food transfer from our mouth to a stomach in a slow movement. Okay, after that there is a lever, through esophagus food is transferred into a stomach. Okay, in stomach there is a presence of a different type of acids, okay, or different digestive juices. That digestive juices or acids helps the food in their breakdown. ठीक है, मीन्स जब वो एसिड्स मिक्स होंगे फूड के साथ तो वो डाइजेशन में, ठीक है, डाइजेशन कंप्लीट डाइजेशन तो कहाँ पे होती है, स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन में. ठीक है, बट इन स्टमक दे हेल्प्स द फूड टू ब्रेक डाउन properly. Okay, after that here you can see a red organ. Okay, that red organ is a liver in which bile juices are present, okay, and pancreatic juices are present. So the main function of bile juice is bile juice helps in digesting here you can see, wait, in the last paragraph the liver secretes bile juice helps in the digestion of fats. Okay, मीन्स ये जो बाइल जूस है वो सिर्फ किसको डाइजेस्ट करने में हेल्प करता है, फैट्स को. ओके, बाइल इज स्टोर्ड इन अ ऑर्गन दैट इज गॉल ब्लैडर बिफोर बीइंग रिलीज्ड इन द स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन. The secretion of the pancreas called pancreatic juice means there are two juices in one in liver, that is bile juice. Bile juice helps to the breakdown of fats, okay, or digestion of fats. And there is a pancreas. Here you can see the pancreas is present just below the stomach. Okay, and that pancreas having a pancreatic juice which helps in the breakdown of carbohydrates. कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स को किस किस में ब्रेक डाउन कर रहा है, शुगर, प्रोटीन्स इनटू एमिनो एसिड्स को. ठीक है, मतलब कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स को वो ब्रेक डाउन कर देता है शुगर में, प्रोटीन्स को ब्रेक डाउन कर देता है अमीनो एसिड्स में, और फैट्स को ब्रेक डाउन कर देता है फैटी एसिड्स में. अब आप देख रहे हो ये कितने सारे एसिड्स हो गए. ठीक है, तो अब तो फूड को डाइजेस्ट होना ही पड़ेगा. ठीक है, देन दीज ऑल फूड्स आर गोइंग इनटू अ स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन. ओके, in small intestine there is a complete digestion. Okay, and the main function of small intestine is also the absorption of important food. Okay, small intestine absorb करता है important nutrients. Okay, and in small intestine after that in absorption. Okay, here you can see that absorption, first process is ingestion, second is digestion. The food is completely digested in a small intestine. Okay, now the third process is absorption. Okay, in absorption we did that we absorb the important nutrients from that digested food. Okay, and we transfer that that nutrients to all body parts. Okay, so here we can read, even though digested continues in the small intestine, the main job of the small intestine is to absorb the nutrients obtained as a result of digestion. Or inside a small intestine there is a finger like structure. So what is the main function of that finger like structure? Because that finger like structure increase the surface area of absorption of nutrients. Okay, and that finger like structure is known as a villi. Okay, what is the main function of villi? Increase the surface area for the absorption. Okay, this makes absorption more efficient. Each villi has a network of fine vessels. अब जो वो villis बनी होती है ना, हर विली के अंदर ब्लड वेसल्स होती हैं. ठीक है, और दैट ब्लड वेसल्स अब्जॉर्व अ न्यूट्रिएंट्स थ्रू विलीज. ओके, एंड ट्रांसफर to the other body parts in a proper way. Okay, Next is assimilation. So what is the assimilation? The nutrients that are absorbed in the blood are transported to rest of the body. That process is known as a assimilation. The final product of the carbohydrate digested in the form of glucose and break down into carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide we can release from our body in the form of a gaseous waste product. Okay, and this process and this all process is continuously performing their functions in the nutrition in animals. Okay, and the last one is digestion. So what is the digestion? So as we all know that the removal of waste material from our body, that process is known as a digestion. Okay, and it is then stored in rectum, means that a waste material stored in rectum. Okay, until it is removed through the anus. जब तक वो हमारी बॉडी में से बाहर नहीं जाता, वो कहाँ पे स्टोर रहता है? रेक्टम में. ठीक है, और हमारी बॉडी से बाहर किस पार्ट से जाता है? एनस के पार्ट से. ओके, so this is all about the nutrition in animals. Now we are going to discuss about the nutrition in ruminants. ठीक है, means what are ruminants? Ruminants are the animals which eat only grass. Okay, so the animals that eat grass, they having a different digestive system from human beings. Okay, so here you can see, have you seen a cow chew continuously or ever wondered why it does so? आपने देखा होगा जो cows होती हैं, buffaloes होती हैं, ठीक है, means जो animals grass खाते हैं वो continuously अपने mouth को chew करते रहते हैं. ठीक है, continuously. तो वो क्यों करते हैं? Actually, cows and some other plant eating animals like goat, deer, etc. swallow their food after chewing once. देखो उन्होंने क्या किया, एक बार ग्रास को ईट किया, उसे स्मॉलर पीसेस में अपने टीथ के साथ कट करके उन्होंने क्या किया, उसे अंदर लेके डाइजेस्ट कर लिया. ठीक है, लेकिन वो कम्प्लीटली डाइजेस्टेड नहीं हुआ. ठीक है, एक बार जब उन्हें फूड मिला, उन्होंने उसे ला के फटाफट कट करके जितना अपने पेट में डाल सकते हैं डाल के, ठीक है, डाइजेस्ट कर लिया, स्टोर कर लिया. ठीक है, अब वो उसे धीरे धीरे डाइजेस्ट करेंगी, तो वो जो फूड उनके पेट में था उसको वापस अपने माउथ में ले आते हैं और उसे बैठ के च्यूई करते रहते हैं. ठीक है, और उस प्रोसेस को क्या कहा जाता है, मीन्स उन एनिमल्स को हम क्या कहते हैं? रूमिनेंट्स. ठीक है, लेटर दे ब्रिंग बैक द स्वेलो फूड इनटू द माउथ एंड च्यू इट अगेन. A plant eating animals that bring back swallow food into the mouth to chew it again is called a ruminants, and the process is called rumination. Okay, this habit of ruminants make their digestive system different from ours and thus the need to study them separately. तो इसी वजह से जो उनका digestive system है humans से थोड़ा सा अलग होता है, इसीलिए हमें इसे अलग से पढ़ने की ज़रूरत है. Okay, now the जो steps हैं, steps are the same. Okay, for example ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and digestion, but the process is different. Okay, so first one is ingestion. The food is injected with the help of a tongue and chewed. Ruminants have a sharp incisor and large molars to bite and chew grass. They also have powerful jaw muscles. Powerful jaw muscles means जब वो मुंह को हिलाते रहते हैं, ठीक है, हमारा तो दर्द होने लग जाता है. ठीक है, लेकिन जो उनका माउथ है, उनकी जो मसल्स होती हैं, जॉ मसल्स होती हैं, दे आर वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग. ओके, सेकेंड इज आफ्टर चूइंग द फूड, दैट फूड इज passes down to the 2 to 3 feet long osophagus. जब वो च्यूड करते हैं तो उसके बाद वो जो फूड है वो किस में किस में पास आउट हो जाता है? 2 से 3 फीट तक की जो लंबी ऑसोफेगस है उसके थ्रू दैट फूड इज गोट इनटू देयर स्टमक. ओके, एंड दैट स्टमक इज डिवाइडेड इनटू 4 चैम्बर्स. ओके, आवर स्टमक इज नॉट डिवाइडेड into any chamber, but cows or that ruminants having 4 chambers in their stomach, and that chambers are rumen, reticulum, omasum and abomasum. Okay, so these are 4 chambers. Now firstly you can see the picture of cow. So that 4 chambers are, first one is rumen is here, reticulum, abomasum and the omasum. Okay, now we read the function of these 4 chambers. First one is rumen. As we see that rumen is of large in size, so it stores a food in a large quantity. Okay, it stores, जो भी वो कंज्यूम करती हैं ना, खाती हैं, उसे फटाफट वो र्यूमन में स्टोर करती जाती हैं. ठीक है, और वो जो है वो कम्प्लीटली डाइजेस्टेड नहीं होता, वो पार्शियली डाइजेस्टेड होता है. ओके, एंड दैट प्रोसेस इज नोन एज अ कड. ओके, द कड इज देन ब्राउट बैक टू द माउथ, और वो जो पार्शियली डाइजेस्टेड फूड है वो बार बार अपने माउथ में वापस लेके आते हैं. ठीक है, उसे रीच्यूड करती हैं, रीस्वेलो करती हैं. ठीक है, तो उस प्रोसेस को हम क्या कहते हैं, कड च्यूइंग. ठीक है, क्योंकि कड को वो बार बार च्यू कर रही है ना. ठीक है, द rumen has billion of bacteria, protozoas which break down the carbohydrates called cellulose. ठीक है, means ruminant animals store food inside our body in the form of cellulose. Okay, as we discussed in our previous chapter that nutrition in plants store food in the form of starch, human beings store food in the form of glucose, whereas ruminants store food in the form of cellulose. Okay, now the next one is reticulum. Here you can see the reticulum is the second chamber of the stomach. So the main function of reticulum is, the reticulum helps in moving the swallow food back into the mouth for through chewing. The reticulum opens into the omasum. Okay, means the third chamber is omasum. So omasum absorb excess water. What is the function of omasum? Omasum absorb the excess water. And what is abomasum? The walls of the abomasum secrete digestive juices through which they digest their grasses or cud in a proper way. Okay, and here you can see that is a intestine. Okay, so this process is about digestion. Now we read the third step, that is absorption. Okay, so what is absorption? Absorption begins in the 4 chambers. As we already here we read that some absorb excess water. Okay, so absorption is started in the stomach here, but in human beings completely absorption is done in small intestine. Okay, so but the main absorption organs are the intestine. The food from the abomasum passes into small intestine, where it mixes with the secretion from the pancreas and liver. As human beings secrete juices, like in liver they secrete a bile juice, and pancreas secretes a pancreatic juice for the digestion of food. Similarly, in ruminants, pancreas and liver also digested some juices. Okay, so most of digestion, carbohydrate, fats, proteins take place here. Several villi are present like human beings, which helps in increase the surface area for absorption of food. Okay, so the small intestine leads into a large intestine. The main function of large intestine is to absorb water and eliminate the waste material into feces. Okay, so this is all about our chapter. So what we learn or read in this chapter? So we read in this chapter that nutrition in animals. Okay, so nutrition in animals is taken out into a 5 stages. First one is ingestion, digestion, absorption, animation and egestion. Okay, and there is a one new term introduced, that is a villi. So what is a villi? Villi is present inside the small intestine. It is a finger like projection, okay, which increase the surface area for the absorption of a digested food. Okay, and each villi is connected with the blood vessels. That blood vessels absorb the nutrients from the small intestine and pass out into the other body parts through blood vessels. Okay, then we talk about the ruminants and rumens. Okay, so now you read this chapter thoroughly. If you have any doubt in this chapter, then we are going to discuss in our classes. Okay, so thank you and have a nice day.